Hey guys, so I have a haul for you guys today, and this haul's a little bit different because it's a used bookstore haul. And recently I took a bunch of books to the used bookstore in my town, got a bunch of trade credit, so I've been getting some new books, trying to save a little bit of money because recently got the new car payment, so I'm trying not to spend as much money on books as I used to, so I've been trying to go to the used bookstore a lot more. And recently I've been finding some really good books at the used bookstore. Like a lot of the books that have been high up on my TBR, I have found there. So let's get into the haul and I'll show you guys what books I got. So I've accumulated these books over the past week or two, and so yesterday I was debating whether or not I was gonna go, and I almost didn't go, and I'm glad I did because I found the first Zodiac Academy book, found the Zodiac Academy The Awakening, and I was so excited to find this book because you go to Barnes & Noble or other places, it's like a $20+ book, and this was only $7.50 in trade credit, so I didn't even have to pay money with it because it was trade credit. And I am so excited about this book because it was a big thing on Book Talk, and I could have read it on Kindle Unlimited, but personally I don't like reading Kindle books. I like to have the physical book, so I'm really excited about this. The next book I got is The X Talk by Rachel and Solomon, and this is about radio host people, and it's about two exes who are hosts on a radio show together. And this has been on my TBR for over a year now. I've been really wanting to get this book, and luckily it was there the other day and I went ahead and grabbed it. So this is the next book that I got. The next book I got is The Resurrection of Wildflowers by Michaela Smeltzer, and I have read the first and second book. This is the second one on Kindle Unlimited, and I really wanted to get the physical copy because I feel like I kind of skimmed it a little more on Kindle Unlimited, and I just wanted the physical copy to read all the way through. And I don't have the first book, but since I found this at the bookstore, the used bookstore, I was like, might as well go ahead and get it. It was only $10 in trade credit, and everywhere I've gone to try to find this book, it's been like $20 for the first and $20 for the second, so I was like, might as well save some money, go ahead and get the second book and maybe try to find the first book used. So this is the other book I got. So then I got The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. This is, I believe, a fake dating trope book. And I got this because I've seen it all over Book Talk and Bookstagram. And I recently also bought Practice Makes Perfect by the same author, so I wanted to go ahead and grab this as well. And I was super excited because this is also a sports romance, and I love sports romances. Let's just put that out there. So got this one. The next book I got is The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix, and this is about a bunch of final girls. I think somebody tries to murder them, and I've been trying to diversify a little bit and break out of my comfort zone. Mainly I read fantasy and romance, but I've been trying to get into horror, true crime, mystery kind of books. So I got this one because I've heard a lot of good things about this book. Then I have Something Wilder by Christina Lauren, I love Christina Lauren, I love her books. And this is about a girl who, when her father dies, she has his old treasure maps, and she tries to find the treasure in order to buy back her father's old ranch. So this is a bit of an adventure, and there's a boy involved that goes on this adventure with her. So I'm very excited to read this because I've been trying to read more of Christina Lauren's books. So next I have Tell Me Lies, and this is by Carla Lovering, I think that's how you say it. And I don't know much about this book, but I do know it is a series on Hulu that was talked about a lot, and I wanted to read the book before I dived into the show. So I got this one, and I really like the cover. It's simple, but kind of looks cool. I like it. I like the gradient of it. So next I have Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco, I think that's how you say my last name. And once again, I don't know a lot about this book, but I've seen it all over Book Talk, Bookstagram. So I saw this, really loved the cover. It's the hardback version of it, so I went ahead and grabbed this. So I am a huge sucker for memoirs. I have tons stacked up on my desk, and so it just made the perfect sense to get this one, and it's Love, Pamela, and this is Pamela Anderson's memoir. And I watched the Netflix documentary about her, so I wanted to go ahead and grab this and read it as well because I just like learning about celebrities and their lives. So I went ahead and got this one. my used bookstore, there's typically a lot of book of the months there that people have brought in, so I grabbed a couple of those. So I have How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days by K.M. Jackson. Not really sure what this is about, but I love Keanu Reeves, so this was definitely one I had to grab. And then we have Lunar Love by Lauren Congesson, I think is how you pronounce it. And I'm excited to read this one because I had it on Book of the Month. I thought about getting it, but I decided against it that month. And this is The Rewind by Allison Winscott. I believe this is the Go Back in Time. It's like a second chance romance between two exes. So I'm excited to read this one. So the last book I got is The Priory of the Orange Tree. This is by Samantha Shannon, and I've seen this all over the place. I've been intimidated to read this. This is a very big book and it's very chunky. I'm a little scared to read it because I know once I read it, it's going to be a big old commitment, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. I like fantasy, so I'm very excited for this. And I got the hardback on trade credit because I went in and I was going to get the paperback. It was obviously like less trade credit would have taken paperback, but they were gone. I waited too long to get it. So they had this hardback and it's really cool. It has nice pretty like foiling, and I just think this is so pretty and it's in such good condition as well. So I am so excited about this book. So there are all the books that I got from my used bookstore in my town. I definitely love going to this bookstore. I've been going since I was a kid, and it's just fun to go in there and see all the different books. You have like classics and everything and like older books, and I just love it. And also, you never know when you're gonna get lucky. Like, I have found some really good books. There have actually been a few books that I really wanted that I passed on, mainly just because there was another book I wanted as well and just had to choose. But definitely go to used bookstores if you're trying to save money on books. Trade in your books, get trade credit so you can buy it. Not to mention, I feel like used bookstores are like a little community. I think, honestly, sometimes the people who work at the one in my town remember me. I remember them. Good conversations. I actually met a guy once at my bookstore who's, I think his uncle or cousin worked on the Game of Thrones set, so that was a cool little story. I learned you never know. You meet some interesting people too at used bookstores, in my opinion, so definitely go check out used bookstores.